So I think with that, without further ado, I am going to welcome Governor Rick Snyder here to the stage. So thank you, Governor.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Well, thank you for that very warm welcome. And Carrie, thank you. And Bob, thank you. Bob gave me a fabulous tour before we had a chance to come in. And it's just amazing, the great work going on here. And before I make some of those comments, I just want to thank, I have a number of my partners from the state legislature here today who have been key in making all these good things happen. I just want to recognize them. We have Senator Tanya Shoemaker. Tanya, where are you? Or she was here. She might have had she had to leave already, but then we have several of our state representatives that have been great. I see Margaret O'Brien. Matt Laurie. Sean McCann. And I see the mayor was able to be with us earlier, so Mayor, thank you for having us here. Let me start by saying happy birthday, 50 years. And it's really exciting to see. As I read the background information, I went through the list, and the first thing that struck me was the motto. One call does it all. And then I heard the philosophy about treating people as customers, and the whole list of different services, trying to have a comprehensive package of services. And to put it in a simple sense, that only got reinforced when I had the chance to meet a number of people on the staff. Because it's one thing to read about a motto. It's another to listen to someone's voice and their heart, to see it's not just about having a motto, but living it with passion and making a difference in people's lives. And that comes across when you talk to the people here. And I want to say thank you for all the tremendous service you're doing for the wonderful customers that you serve. Because it makes a difference for all of us. The other part is I think it's really interesting. When I was reading through this, I said, this is a role model for government. Isn't this how government should behave? So not only are you serving a great group of customers, you're actually being a role model to help us in the public sector learn how we can continuously improve. So I want to say thank you, and really continue that great work and continue to push us on what we can do better. Because it's about continuous improvement. What we're doing today, while great, there are people still struggling, and we can do more to help them. And so let's continue raising that bar of expectations on how we can deliver even more. I also want to give a shout out to all the other organizations here, because as I went around and met people, I bet there's 20, 30 related organizations somewhere in Southwest Michigan doing great work. And so I want to say thank you to all of you for the efforts you're making in terms of making a difference in people's lives. And this is really important to me personally, to put in some context. It's interesting, I've had a number of people come up to me over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the last couple months in particular, because we are doing some difficult things in the state of Michigan, with probably the bankruptcy in Detroit being among the most challenging things in the history of our state, but also working on things like Healthy Michigan, which I think is critically important to help make a difference in real people's lives. I've had people come up and say, is this the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with in your life? And the answer I'd give them would be no. Because I stopped and thought about that. And to be open with you, the hardest thing that ever happened in my life was addressing the challenges of my parents. I grew up in Battle Creek. I grew up on North 22nd Street. And I had a job opportunity where my job took me out of state for a number of years. It was actually to go run Gateway Computers. Now that's a pretty cool opportunity, right? But I had 2 older parents. My mom was actually 45 when she had me, so I was a late arrival. I was that surprised, but they were actually happy to have me come along. So I had older parents. And I had to watch how they progressed through that phase, and that was the most difficult issue in my entire life, because I had a father that wouldn't ask for help. And so he probably put himself, he passed away sooner than he could have if he would have reached out for help after a lot of discussions of trying to get him help. Just didn't want to listen. And then to have a mother who wanted to stay in the home. And there wasn't an organization to serve them the way this organization serves people today. So we got people to come into the home. We tried to get the best people to come in the home. We found people that then took her checkbook and forged checks. We found people that took advantage of her. So when you talk about this package of bills and looking at the great work you're doing, this is very personal, because that shouldn't happen to anyone. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come here today and let you know I'm with you. And I'm counting on you leading the charge. To be open with you, I don't understand the issues as well. I haven't worked on them for years, the way that you have. But what I can tell you is I want to be that supportive partner to understand how this very important, critical issue, because we're talking about real people, people that are our parents, our brothers and sisters, our friends and neighbors, how we can help them. So I'm not only addressing this to the great senior services of Southwest Michigan and their 50th anniversary, but to all the organizations here. Please work with Carrie. Please use Carrie as your conduit, but always feel free to contact me, because we want to do the same thing that this great organization is doing. One call does it all in terms of being able to give great service to the wonderful people of Michigan. So thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to have a tour, to come say happy birthday, to come say thank you to this organization, and thank you to all of you. Keep up the great work. It really does make a difference, and if anything, let's raise the bar and do better and better. So thank you so much.